Okay, so to continue with what we have seen in the previous video, we have to rename the out file as in file, and this will be the input file for neighbor method or neighbor tool. So you have to open this neighbor tool. You don't have to mention any input file name because it defaultly take this in file as the input, and you have to just click S and you will get two files, which is output written as out file and tree written on out tree. So you can see in this folder you will have out file and out tree. So the next and the final step for creating a phylogenetic tree using drawgram, which is a rooted tree, you have to rename this out tree as in tree, because when you open this drawgram you will see the input will be named as in tree. So to make it easier, we have renamed our out tree from neighbor joining method as in tree. So you have to select input tree and you have to check for the in tree which we have renamed. So this is in tree and you have to click open. And similarly for plot file, you can simply type any name you want, like try.ps. Since it is a plot file, it should end with .ps. So I will give as try.ps and open. That's it. So then you have to give preview. So this is what a phylogram will look like. So as you can see, in the input we have given 5 sequences, that is beta, gamma, delta, epsilon and alpha. So this is a rooted tree. As you can see, this is the root, that is the ancestor, and from that we have different branches. We can interpret this phylogenetic tree as delta and epsilon. They are very closer than gamma and alpha. So it has very much similarity between them. So this is the output of drawgram, and this is a rooted tree. Okay, so the next step is we have performed an experiment to create a rooted tree. So how can we produce or how can we create an unrooted tree? For that you have to go for draw tree. So remember, drawgram is for rooted tree and draw tree is for unrooted tree. So for that you have to open draw tree. Similarly, you have to select as input. Same input you can give. So in tree, open, plot file. Again you can give any name like try.ps. Just click open and you can create a plot file and you can preview it. So this is an example of unrooted tree. So what is the difference between rooted tree and unrooted tree? Rooted tree will have a root from which the common ancestor will be mentioned. Unrooted tree will never have any ancestor root being mentioned. So as you can see, these 5 species has been mentioned continuously. So there is no root. So this is an example of unrooted tree. Okay. So to summarize what we have seen, we have done an experiment to create rooted and unrooted tree using distance based method, because we have started with the distance based method first, and hereafter we are moving forward to character based method. So what are the steps in the distance based method? First, we have to perform a multiple sequence alignment and we have to download the output file in Phylip format. Next, we have to find the distance, or we have to find a distance matrix using neighbor joining tool, and next we have to build a rooted tree using drawgram and unrooted tree using draw tree. So this is one method. So the second method is character based method. Okay, so the character based method will be carried out using DNA ML. What is this ML? See, I have already mentioned that distance based method or distance based phylogenetic trees will be constructed using 2 major methods. One is neighbor joining or UPGMA method. Neighbor joining or UPGMA method. Similarly, for character based technique, we have to use maximum likelihood or maximum parsimony method. So this DNA ML, this ML is for, stands for maximum likelihood method. So for this we have to open DNA ML. Okay. Okay. So this is not error. We have to clear all this file, that is out file, in file, in tree. So we have to delete all these 3 files because we are going to perform another experiment with the same folder, which means in the same window. So we have to delete all other files, output files, and we have to start it as fresh. Similarly, for DNA ML, we have to use this file, that is DNA dist, or you can go for test data and you can select the in file. So this is DNA ML in file. You have to select Ctrl+C and you can paste it in this folder, that is in which you are going to perform this experiment. Then you can open DNA ML and inside this DNA ML you have to mention this input file name, that is DNA ML infile.txt. Okay. So similarly, as in the case of DNA dist, it will ask you for parameters. Just type Y and enter and you will get out file and out tree. So that's it. You can see out file and out tree. Next simple step, we have to go for drawgram and draw tree. You don't have to go for another step as like in distance based method. In a distance based method, we would have done another step using neighbor. Here no need of anything. After performing a small step using DNA ML, you can directly go for drawgram and draw tree. Okay, so drawgram for rooted and draw tree for unrooted. For that, a similar step has to be done. We have to rename this out tree as in tree, and this in tree will be the input for drawgram. You have to open drawgram, select in tree and plot file, similarly a.ps, and create preview. So this is a rooted tree using maximum likelihood method, that is character based method. So you can see the difference. It is not same with the previous one. We have created a data or phylogenetic tree for the same sequences, but it is not similar because that is using distance matrix and this method is using only character count like matches and mismatches. So you'll see a difference in the phylogenetic tree. So this is for rooted. And similarly for unrooted, you have to open draw tree and select input as input in tree. Where is that? So in tree and plot file you can give as b.ps or any other name because it won't be saved further. So create a plot file, preview. So this is unrooted tree. Okay, so these are the steps that is to be followed to create a phylogenetic tree using phylum. So can we summarize what we had seen in this exercise? So phylogenetic tree is a diagrammatic representation of similarities or differences between different sequences or different species. So we can compare their evolutionary relationship using sequence data. So for that we have downloaded Phylip and we have to choose few sequences which we want to compare and we have to download it from NCBI. After downloading it, we have to perform multiple sequence alignment using Clustal W. So from where we have to download the output file as file format and that input will be used for comparison. So this is one example of that input file, and there are two methods for phylogenetic tree construction. One is distance based method and second one is character based method. For distance based method we have to follow three steps. One is we